reality may not be solid. It may not even be physical. What if everything you see, touch, and experience is simply vibration? Welcome to Information World. Look around you. The walls, the air, your hands, the screen in front of you. They feel solid, stable, real. But modern physics tells a very different story. At the deepest level of existence, reality does not appear to be made of solid objects. It appears to be made of energy. And energy, at its core, behaves like frequency. Let's start with something simple. Sound is vibration. Light is vibration. Radio waves are vibration. Even heat is vibration at the atomic level. The entire electromagnetic spectrum is simply different frequencies of energy. The only difference between visible light and X-rays is how fast they vibrate. Now take this idea deeper. According to quantum physics, atoms are mostly empty space. If you zoom into an atom, you do not find tiny solid balls stuck together. You find probability clouds. You find wave functions. You find energy fields vibrating in patterns. Matter, at its foundation, behaves more like a wave than a solid particle. In fact, experiments have shown that particles such as electrons can behave as both particles and waves. This strange dual behavior suggests that what we call matter might actually be patterns of oscillation in underlying fields. One of the most fascinating ideas comes from string theory. In this framework, fundamental particles are not point-like dots. Instead, they are tiny vibrating strings. The type of particle depends on how the string vibrates. A different vibration pattern creates a different particle. In other words, mass, charge, and force could all be the result of frequency variations. Imagine that reality is like a cosmic symphony. Every particle is a note. Every force is harmony. The universe becomes less like a machine and more like music. Even space itself may not be passive. Quantum field theory suggests that the vacuum of space is not empty. It is filled with fluctuating energy fields constantly vibrating, even at absolute zero temperature. These fluctuations are measurable. They produce observable effects, like the Casimir effect, where two metal plates placed very close together experience a force due to vacuum energy differences. So what does this mean? It means solidity might be an illusion created by interactions of frequencies. When you press your hand against a table, the electrons in your hand repel the electrons in the table through electromagnetic forces. You never actually touch it in a classical sense. What you feel is electromagnetic interaction, vibrational fields resisting each other. Reality begins to look less like hard matter and more like structured energy. But the idea of frequency-based reality is not limited to physics. It extends into biology. Your brain operates through electrical signals. Neurons communicate using electrochemical impulses. Brain activity is measurable in frequency bands, alpha waves, beta waves, gamma waves. Your thoughts, emotions, and states of consciousness correlate with specific frequency patterns. When you feel calm, your brain waves shift. When you are anxious, they shift again. Meditation changes frequency activity. Sleep changes it. Even attention and memory are linked to oscillatory patterns in neural networks. If your consciousness is tied to frequency patterns, then your perception of reality is also filtered through frequency. And it goes even further. Every object emits some form of vibration. Molecules vibrate at characteristic frequencies. These frequencies can be measured using spectroscopy. Scientists identify chemical substances by analyzing their vibrational signatures. In other words, everything has a frequency fingerprint. This means that at a fundamental level, the universe may not be a collection of things. It may be a network of interacting oscillations. Think about how a radio works. Many signals are present in the air at once. But you only hear the station your radio is tuned to. Change the frequency, and you access a different channel. What if your senses are biological tuning devices? What if the world you experience is just the narrow band your nervous system is tuned to detect? Humans see only a small portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. We cannot see infrared or ultraviolet without technology. We cannot hear ultrasound or infrasound. There may be layers of reality vibrating outside our perceptual range, completely invisible to us. This idea becomes even more intriguing when we consider resonance. Resonance occurs when one vibrating system influences another system with a similar frequency. It can amplify energy dramatically. Bridges have collapsed because of resonance. Glass can shatter when exposed to the right sound frequency. In biology, resonance plays a role in cellular communication. Some researchers suggest that cells may communicate not only chemically but also through electromagnetic signals. While still an emerging field, studies in bioelectromagnetics are exploring how weak electromagnetic fields influence biological systems. If reality is fundamentally vibrational, then resonance could be one of the deepest principles governing interaction. Now let's step into philosophy. If everything is frequency, what does that mean for identity? You are not a static object. Every cell in your body replaces itself over time. Atoms enter and leave your body constantly. Yet you feel like the same person. Perhaps your identity is not based on matter, but on pattern, on frequency organization, on dynamic structure rather than fixed substance. In this sense, you are more like a song than a statue. A statue remains the same material over time. A song remains the same pattern, even if played by different instruments. The notes define it, not the material. This perspective changes how we see life and death as well. If identity is pattern, then information becomes more fundamental than matter. Some physicists argue that information may be the deepest layer of reality. Even black hole physics suggests that information cannot be destroyed, only transformed. So perhaps reality is not made of things. Perhaps it is made of information encoded in frequency. There are also cosmological implications. The early universe was filled with fluctuations, tiny variations in density that later formed galaxies. These fluctuations were essentially oscillations in quantum fields stretched by cosmic inflation. The large-scale structure of the universe may have originated from microscopic frequency patterns amplified over billions of years. The cosmic microwave background radiation, often described as the afterglow of the Big Bang, contains subtle variations. These variations are like frozen sound waves from the early universe. Scientists have even converted this data into audible sound frequencies. The universe literally began with vibration. But we must be careful. Saying that reality is made of frequencies does not mean everything is mystical or magical. Frequency is a measurable, physical concept. It describes how often something oscillates per unit time. It is mathematically precise. It is experimentally verifiable. The mystery is not that frequency exists. The mystery is that frequency appears to be fundamental. And if frequency is fundamental, then what we call reality may be an emergent phenomenon, a stable pattern of interacting waves forming the illusion of solidity. Even time could be related to frequency. At the quantum level, energy and frequency are directly connected through Planck's relation. Higher energy corresponds to higher frequency. The ticking of atomic clocks depends on precise frequency transitions in atoms. Our measurement of time is literally based on vibration. So the deeper we look, the more everything connects back to oscillation. Light vibrates. Atoms vibrate. Space fluctuates. Brains oscillate. Galaxies formed from primordial waves. Reality may not be built from bricks. It may be woven from rhythm. And if that is true, then understanding the universe is less about finding smaller particles, and more about understanding deeper harmonies. Maybe one day physics will unify all forces into a single framework of oscillating fields. Maybe consciousness itself will be described as a complex frequency structure interacting with the physical world. Maybe the line between matter and energy will disappear completely. Or maybe we are only beginning to tune into the right channel. The next time you touch something solid, remember this: beneath that surface is not hardness. Beneath it is motion. Beneath it is vibration. Beneath it is frequency. And if reality is made of frequencies, then existence is not static. It is music. If this idea changed the way you see the world, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Information World for more mind-expanding explorations.